When this is done, or maybe right now so you have the context, check out this video from just a few days ago. While we were making observations and making some conjecture about Pikmin 4 as well, you guys out there left some amazing comments. These spanned multiple points, and we can touch on the topics they relate to from the video extremely fast. But it really is best to watch that previous video if you haven't, that I'm referring to, for the full context. So here, on the topic of Ochi, because I think there was a lot of discussion about him, it seems most of us are in agreement about this quote-unquote stamina meter. You know, like, there were several comments like this, and I'm glad this was upvoted so many times. Like, you know, overall kind of the point that the meter shows up, you know, that bar when Ochi jumps, it's likely the same button to charge and to jump. It's just that when you do the jump, you just tap it, but when you hold it down, that's the charge that we see Ochi doing right here. So yeah, just a few other comments on that. Like I say, I bet there's gonna be some information on this really soon, and the game launches in just a little over a month. And aside from the stamina meter, somewhat related I guess, Ochi hasn't necessarily been confirmed to be dragging any items through the water yet. That's at the time of this recording, which is mid-June. So when we discuss the usefulness of blue Pikmin, their function is likely to still be very much intact. You know, here was a comment, blues are probably going to be used to get things through water because the dog only swims, and I'd imagine he can't swim and carry, so yeah, definitely that was a good point. And let's say that Ochi can drag things through the water and actually carry the items through it, which again, so far hasn't been confirmed, but even then you'd still be using blue Pikmin. Like, you have to imagine that while Ochi's doing one thing, well, there's plenty of other things to be doing, right? You don't often just in Pikmin focus on like one item at a time, you know, the entirety of the map, at least when you have multiple captains in play, like, it can be huge, right? So you'll have Ochi do one thing, and then you'll have your blue Pikmin do another thing, and I have a feeling Ochi's gonna be very busy. I think the one last thing about the stamina wheel, we do have to be careful. I think the comment is mostly right, but sometimes kind of is speaking in definitive terms on maybe certain things we don't know, like they're just saying, Ochi will be able to pass through shallow water with a large group of Pikmin on their back, but when the water becomes deep and Ochi can't reach the bottom with its little feet, then he'll use stamina to tread water and keep everyone afloat, and that hasn't been confirmed yet. You know, like, I think we just have to be a little bit careful there. The comment adds, you can see him walking on the bottom of the shallow water. Presumably the stamina wheel is for when he's actually swimming, not just wading. The only thing I would say is just that I generally myself like to make sure that people know when things are conjecture or just assumptions, and then when things are absolutely 100% confirmed. And sometimes it's like a theory or a conjecture might be 99% like totally gonna happen or whatever. I just like to make sure that we really distinguish between the two. And so if we just look at observational fact and like what we can confirm is that we do see the stamina bar when Ochi is jumping. We don't see it when Ochi's swimming or walking or any of the other actions aside from then of course the charge, you know, the charging into the jars. So just want to make sure that's clear. Okay, one last thing about our lovable dog. Ochi was obviously a hot topic, right? My reply here probably says it all, but when you compare Ochi to winged Pikmin, it could kind of be like apples and oranges a little bit. Ochi, as I see it and everything we've seen in the trailers and stuff, could almost be more closely compared to purples, but really he's multi-purpose, right? And I can only imagine those players who use Ochi to his fullest potential, just as they could with captains in Pikmin 3, for example, those will be the players that get the days done with the most efficiency. Ochi seems like he could really be put to work. So now, regarding the Japanese translations from Japanese to English of the images that I showed, I think people seem to understand what I was saying in the previous video to this, but I really do love the information that y'all added on. So, you know, I appreciate what's being said here. The Google Translate kind of likes to insert he and his, and I'm taking these comments at their face value for their word. You know, you guys probably know much more than I do. You were saying Japanese doesn't really have pronouns like English or Spanish. In Japanese, they only clarify gender when necessary and usually say something along the lines of that, this, man, woman, when it's used, or with familial terms, like referring to someone as your brother, wife, you know, etc. So that was really good. I really appreciate that, you guys. Good to have some more added information there. But quick note, I appreciate you here reiterating my mention of the theory of Alf being in that silhouette. I think anything that ties other or just all of the previous Pikmin games in the series together would be fantastic. I want to hear anyone and everyone's opinions on this, since most of my experience is Pikmin 3 and Pikmin Bloom, which, by the way, I'm playing through Pikmin 3 on the channel nowadays. And would you guys want to see Pikmin Bloom vlogs? But okay, also, this comment about the house, this is cool. While I've scoped out the environment a lot, I feel like I haven't quite made any like deep dive into it being maintained probably constantly, right? Should we do a video on this? And I'm definitely sure that there are other content creators out there already covered stuff like this. I'm just asking, would anybody be curious for my take? And I love this all to be a dialogue, so thank you so much. Always add in your comments, information, conjecture, anything. And man, I'm so excited for Pikmin 4. I hope you guys are as well. It'll be all over this channel. Please click an end screen, and thanks for viewing.